Hey guys, this is your host Thomas Tyree here from On the Hot Podcast. Today I have some bonus content for you guys. The bonus content we'll be covering today will be in the sport of football inside the NFL world, and I'll be sharing my thoughts on David Montgomery being traded to the Houston Texans. Now, the trade broke earlier today between the Detroit Lions and the Houston Texans, where the Detroit Lions traded their former running back David Montgomery to the Houston Texans. In exchange, the Detroit Lions received an offensive lineman, Juice Struggs, and a 2026 fourth round pick and a 2027 seventh round pick. So there was a player and two future draft picks that were exchanged for former running back David Montgomery for him to be sent over to the AFC South to play for the Houston Texans next NFL season. So my thoughts on the trade. This is an end of an era in Detroit, the end of the Sonic and Knuckles era for Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. The 1-2 punch of the speed and the power is no longer going to be available for the Detroit Lions for the sake of the future. And I know that hits home for Detroit Lions fans. David Montgomery brought them a lot of success in the backfield over the last 2 to 3 seasons. And now Jahmyr Gibbs is clearly your new number one running back. He deserves more touches more than ever. He's going to be your clear number one back. And that allows David Montgomery to be the new running back for the Houston Texans, a team that desperately needs a running game as well. So I think this trade works out for both sides. Lions get extra draft capital for the future, 2026 fourth round pick, 2027 seventh round pick, and then Gibbs gets an extra extensive workload. And now David Montgomery becomes the prime back for the Houston Texans, and his workload did decrease last season with Gibbs' high work rate going up and being productive as a productive runner and a productive pass catcher for Detroit. But the Houston Texans, they had everything last year to go on a run. They had one of the best defenses in the league. They got a young, talented quarterback in C.J. Stroud when he does return to football. And they got a good receiving core when healthy. The only thing that they were really missing last year was a good running game. And of course, Joe Mixon missed the whole entire NFL season due to injury. They were missing an explosive running back to be a difference maker in their offense last year. David Montgomery is going to fit the bill well with the Houston Texans next NFL season, because this is a guy that can fix the Houston Texans red zone problems. They had a lot of problems cashing in on points, running the football in the red zone last year. David Montgomery can do it all in the backfield. He can run inside the numbers. He's effective in the red zone. Good pass protector as well. In passing situations, he can drop back and be a good pass protector as well, protecting C.J. Stroud. And he's also an underrated pass catcher. We all know that with his time with the Chicago Bears, his first 3 to 4 seasons in the league, he was a good, effective pass catcher with the Chicago Bears. And this is a Houston Texans team that can really benefit with the services that David Montgomery. Now, the only thing is they do need to really revamp and rebuild their offensive line. I mean, they had one of the worst units last year and the year prior. C.J. Stroud got sacked a lot of times, and that was a real difference maker protecting C.J. Stroud in the playoffs when they faced some good defensive lines like the Pittsburgh Steelers and the New England Patriots. And the Texans just moved off of 2 offensive linemen this week before we officially start the NFL offseason. So they got some room to grow there. The NFL draft, luckily for them, is a strong offensive line draft. That means there's going to be a lot of good offensive linemen from rounds 1 to 7 in this NFL draft. And they have a first-round pick late in the first round. And I think their first-round pick should go to an offensive lineman to start the rebuild and revamp that offensive line so they can run the football effectively and protect C.J. Stroud next NFL season. But most likely with this move, David Montgomery is going to be the featured back for the Houston Texans. Probably going to be a 3-down back unless they want to have a 3rd-down back that's a good receiving option for them. But in terms of everybody else, Joe Mixon is most likely going to be released. I mean, he was really missed by the Houston Texans last year. They weren't the same team they weren't the same team running the football as they were when he was in the lineup for them in the 2024-25 season. They really missed him, and I don't think he's worth the money due to the fact that he's injury prone with them and was a liability for them. So I think he's going to be released. And then you look at the veteran guy, Nick Chubb. Yeah, he had spurts of what he used to do, but clearly after them gruesome knee injuries that he went over the years in his prime years, he's not the same running back, and he's heading into the offseason on an expiring contract. So I don't think the Houston Texans are going to bring him back. I think he's going to be a free agent. So therefore, I think David Montgomery is going to be the number one running back for the Houston Texans next season. And for the Detroit Lions, again, Gibbs is your clear number one running back. I mean, he is a top 5 running back in the league anyway. With his production being so good, it was hard to keep him off the field and give David Montgomery the touches that he wanted during the previous NFL season. I know his leadership is going to be missed in Detroit. His presence in the red zone is going to be missed. A perfect running back to put in the ball game for short down situations as a power back. I think he's going to be missed, but I think this is a win-win for both teams moving forward. Again, the Detroit Lions get additional draft capital, later round picks for 2026, 2027, additional offensive linemen, and the Houston Texans get their new featured running back in David Montgomery. But that is all the time I have for you guys today. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. This is your host, Thomas Tyree, signing off, and I'll see you guys on next week's episode.